So the stats are in, and Blaziken is actually insane. Yeah, so if you're not up to speed with what's going on here, May 19th, Sunday, is Blaziken's Community Day. And upon evolving into Blaziken during the Community Day hours, like any other Community Day, you will learn Blast Burn, as expected. However, starting on that day and going forward past Community Day, if you use a charged TM, you have the potential to get Blaziken on your Blaziken, right? Now, previously we were wondering, well, what does Blaziken look like? We don't have the datamine on it. Well, we got the datamine on it now. And the expectation was Blaziken was going to be kind of like a okay move for raid content, and it would be better in PvP, but it's actually insane. Yeah, so let's go down to the stats. And of course, you can check out this information on Game Press article here written by Raven8 and collabed upon by myself and DonDon151. Raven8 did the writing and the analysis. Don helped with the analysis. And then me, well, I think we have a pretty good idea of where Ryan Swag came in here, right? So checking out the stats here on Blaziken, you'll see that it has a base power of 50, a charge energy of 33, so really low cost charge move, relatively low damage. But what's insane about this attack is its move cooldown of 1.2 seconds. And additionally crazy, the damage window of 0.45 seconds. This makes Blaziken literally the fastest charge move in the whole game. This little graphic here doesn't do us too much justice, so let's go over to charge moves. By sorting it by time, Blaziken 1.2 seconds, faster than the other fastest moves in the game, which are 1.5 seconds. If you sort it by active time, also insanely fast, 0.45 seconds, which is faster than Hydro Cannon. And Hydro Cannon is just so stupid. Like, I forgot how stupid Hydro Cannon is. But still, faster than Hydro Cannon. This means that not only will you be animation locked for the shortest amount of time imaginable, but that damage will go in basically immediately. Once you push the charge move button, your damage registers, so even if you get wiped out, that damage still counts. So this might have you questioning, is Blaziken better than Blast Burn? And at the end of the day, if you look at the DPS times DPE, so the damage per second times the damage per energy, Blast Burn is better. Yeah, 73.33 versus 63.33. So objectively, on paper, Blast Burn should be the better attack. But is that how it is in practice? If your suspicions were that might not be so, your suspicions were correct. Yeah, so this is a graph of the Registeel raid using level 40 counters versus a tier 5 Registeel using all of its movesets averaged together with best friendship, without dodging. Yes, I know the dodge bug has been fixed, or mostly fixed, but no dodging. The y-axis here, if you're not familiar, is damage per second, so the higher you are, the faster you're dealing damage. And then the x-axis is total damage output, which is the total amount of damage your Pokemon will deal before fainting, which is a more useful metric for tankiness. At any rate, up here, you can see that Blaziken is ever so slightly better than Blast Burn. But you might be sitting at home wondering, well, how, Ryan Swag? You just told us that Blast Burn is on paper the better attack. How come Blaziken is even better? Well, there are two things working against Blast Burn here, or working for Blaziken. Thing number one is Blaziken has a lower energy cost, so you're able to use more Blazikens than Blast Burn, presumably in a raid. Now, I know that 17 energy doesn't seem like that big of a gap, but when you consider that Blaziken's animation time is so ridiculously fast, there are more fast moves you can do alongside that charge move, which means that you are getting energy for those fast moves, which means the gap is actually a little bit wider in practice than what you'd think on paper, right? And another thing working against Blast Burn, more specifically working against Blast Burn, is its long animation time. Because of its animation time and because of its late damage window, so the time that the damage actually registers, Blaziken is now vulnerable to be getting like KO'd. Yeah, the dodge bug is fixed, but if you can't dodge, you're going to get hit by that damage anyways. And if it hits you before the damage registers, well, then that damage isn't even going to count. So, wow, sucks, right? So because of that instance happening, and because Blaziken is slightly better than what it looks like on paper, that allows Blaziken to outperform Blast Burn. Now, you're probably thinking, Ryan Swag, that's a great explanation, but like, how can I visualize this? Well, you can visualize this with this graph I made. Yeah, So this is a graph of the enumerated results of Blastburn and Blaziken against the Registeel raid. So same situation, but instead of an average, it's the enumerations. So flipping back to this guy, this is the average. So like 2,000 Groudons fought 2,000 Registeels, right? And they have all sorts of different performances. Sometimes Groudon was like really awesome, got off like 4 freaking earthquakes or something, and then sometimes it sucks, right? Well, the average of those situations is the single point on this graph. What I'm showing here is 30 different Blastburn Blazikens and 30 different Blaziken Blazikens here against the same raid. And then, of course, the scaling's a little bit different because this is focused in on Blaziken, right? So the red dots are the Blastburn, the blue dots are the Blaziken, and then here circled in purple, and I made the dots ever so slightly bigger, these are their averages. So you can see on average, they're pretty neck and neck. And because I used 30 enumerated results of each, it's not exactly the same as on the other graph. So there's also that to keep in mind, which is why the TDO is slightly better for Blastburn here. It's not 2,000, we're down to 30. So like tips the scales a little bit. So don't get too confused on that. But yeah, on average, they're basically the same, but Blaziken is slightly better. Why is that? Well, you can visualize here why that's happening. Yeah, so if you look at the DPS, you go up here, you can see that there are 2 red dots higher than any of the blue dots will go. And that suggests that Blastburn has higher peak DPS than Blaziken does. So clearly the better attack, right? Well, not quite. Because Blaziken does have that whole dying issue, right? You can see down here, scaling down the DPS, you can see that there are many red dots that go lower than the blue dots. And because Blastburn has more lower lows than what it has higher highs in this particular raid on average, well, because of that, on average, Blaziken, because it's more consistent, doing well more consistently, ends up taking over ever so slightly in the DPS department. So this is great news for people that, they have their level 40 Hundo Blaziken already. They've raised it since it was a little Torchic. It's their favorite Pokemon. And oh no, now Blastburn's going to outclass it. Well, not exactly. Blaziken, slightly better. But this could leave players questioning, why am I going to participate in this community day in the first place then? Like, if Blaziken is better than Blastburn and I can always get Blaziken after the event, why waste my time with community day? Blastburn's going to be weaker. Well, Blastburn is still the better move. And this is using no dodging. If you were to dodge Registeel's charge moves, and they're all really slow single bar charge moves, so that's not too unfounded, the average of Blastburn being awesome increases. Like, you're dodging death, so, these diminish, and then these, increase, right? So that is something to keep in mind. Additionally, if Blastburn's whole issue is getting animation locked into death or being too high energy cost and then you die, well, you could spend 10,000 Stardust and get the combo. 10,000 sounds like a big number, but 3x catch Stardust, you throw a Star Chip on that, you're going to catch that Stardust before you even know it on the community day. And the combo of Blastburn with Blaziken conceptually would be better than either on their own, because you can Blastburn until you feel like your Blaziken's about to die, and then you can start Blazikicking. Now, how many Blastburns to Blaziken? What do I do, Ryan Swag? Spell it out for me. Well, you're going to have to figure that on your own, right? Yeah, it's going to be raid to raid, level by level, right? So there's no clear, easy answer for how many you want to do. Just Blastburn until you feel like your Blaziken's going to die soon, and then just start Blazikicking, and then you got it. Now, switching back to this graph here, you might be thinking, Ryan Swag, well, what about the combo? How come you don't have the combo on this graph? Well, so far, none of our simulators can properly simulate the combo. Like, I could go in by hand and do it on Go Battle Sim, but I wouldn't be able to get 2,000 results instantly that way. Fortunately, Bioweapon is working on a way to express the combo in a useful manner for us. So in the future, we'll have that kind of information, but in the present, you're just going to have to imagine that it's going to be slightly better. I imagine, from what I understand about DPS and combo moves, stuff like that, the difference between the combo and Blaziken is probably going to be the difference between Blastburn and Blaziken here. So just like a little nudgy head higher. But hey, for the DPS lords out there, that nudgy head matters oh so much. Now, if you're curious about Blaziken for PvP, it's actually a Fire Punch clone. Yeah, so I was hoping that it would be a Leaf Blade clone, which would be insanely wild for Blaziken, but we didn't get that. Yeah, we got a Fire Punch clone, which is kind of awkward because they're the same type. Like, what? Right? So I'm kind of holding my breath a little bit for Blaziken, because right now it doesn't have any additional effects. I could see Niantic maybe giving it a spicy additional effect before release, or maybe slightly after release. So because of that, I do want to do a more in-depth analysis of Blaziken in PvP after we finally get Blaziken, because I'm kind of feeling there's going to be some changes. Like, why directly parallel Fire Punch if you're not going to do something else with it, right? Now, if you are curious in general what Blastburn and Blaziken are doing for Blaziken in PvP in general right now, they are huge gains for Blaziken. Yeah, because with Blaziken, you can finally put on some shield pressure, and then with Blastburn, because it is earlier than its other charge moves, and because it is so powerful in PvP, you definitely get more KOs in than you were getting before, which is awesome for Blaziken. Overall, I feel like it's not fast enough to compete with Medicham. Doesn't really threaten Medicham a whole lot. And then, unfortunately, like, Blaziken is too slow and it hits too soft to, like, really threaten Skarmory, which is also unfortunate, right? So I think in the Greater Great League, as things stand right now, Blaziken is way better than it was before, but definitely not, like, a must-have super meta pick. Now, when it comes to the Sylph Arena and all their different cups where they mix and match different types and ban some Pokemon because they're too good, I think Blaziken does have a huge chance of standing out there with either Blastburn or Blaziken or both. And for that reason, I would say that you would want to have a Great League ready Blaziken with both Blastburn or Blaziken, like two separate ones, so you can mix and match, because like comboing one move or the other with its other charge moves could be better. Combining both moves together could be ideal, so you get the speed and the damage. It all comes down to what the cup is, right? But yeah, overall, Blaziken, huge boost, but not insane. But if you want the real numbers on Blaziken in PvP, well then make sure to subscribe to SwagTips, because after the event, I will start working on that video, because any changes that will happen will probably have happened by then, right? And if you enjoyed this content and want more like it, well then subscribe for that as well. And if you got any questions on this content, comment below, let me know what's up, and I'll be happy to help you out. TLDR, Blaziken, slightly better than Blastburn. Blastburn, objectively the more superior move and benefits from dodging, but the combo, only 10,000 Stardust.
SwagTips. Combo.